Hello everyone, thanks again for tuning in. This is part 2 on our taping on religion versus Christianity. Um, Another point to point out concerning religion where it gets us in trouble is that religion um, stops at doctrine. The most you can get from being a religious person or being, just religion itself is that your highest level you can go is just to having doctrine. And this is why you and I can say I know I've met people who know more Bible verses than me, and they can somewhat teach uh, the Bible. Um, but I found out that that's not God's highest call. I remember when I first got born again, and I saw people who was very diligent. I mean, these jokers were diligent, and like 5 o'clock in the morning, uh, uh, praying, diligent about their Bible time. I remember seeing one time I was in church, and this lady came in, and before she sat down, she kneeled down and prayed. It's almost like she was praying over her seat, and I was distracted because I was uh, you know standing up worshiping, I believe, and I just happened to see a person come in, and I was great shake her hand and say hello and everything, and she kneeled down at her seat, and I didn't know what to think. So I just kind of left that alone, and she got up and had 2 kids with her, and before the church service was over, she was smacking the kids around. I know that's not funny, but I'm just trying to make a point. Please don't make any comments about me laughing at that. I mean, I'm just trying to make a point. That whole scene confused me. But I just thank God that I just wanted to stay close to him, because today he helped me to see people who are very religious. They only have a lot of doctrine. There's no real transformation taking place on the inside. And this is what the Lord was saying to me. Christianity can be summed up in one way. Christianity can be summed up as Christ-like. I hate when people say, Earl, when they introduce me to people, they say, he's a very religious person. Well, actually, I'm not religious. And I hate when people refer to me as being religious. But the world have their way of viewing us. If someone was to ask me how could they best describe me when it comes to spiritual things, instead of saying Earl is a very religious person, I would rather for them to say Earl is Christ-like, because that is what we are becoming, Christ-like. And so, um, but you can't teach the world that. But what we can do is live out Christ, and that's where Christianity is higher than the law, because the law is here. I'm sorry, not the law. Religion is here, and the best you can get is a lot of Bible knowledge, a lot of doctrine, but there is no transformation in the person. And when it comes to religion, there is no power in the services, because Christ is not being lifted up. Christ is not the center of the service. It's all religion. And I know that this is probably hard for some people, and I don't mean any harm, because If you watch any of my tapings, I'm trying to reach the body of Christ. And sometimes truths can be hard to swallow. But I'm just trying to be obedient to my Lord, and He says to speak the truth in love. So if you find yourself very religious, and you find that you still have an emptiness on the inside, then that's a sure sign that you're not feeding off of Christ. You're going through the outward motions where you're applying your flesh, you're applying your mind to learn, but you're not being fed from Christ. You're not being, basically, you're not enjoying Christ. And that's one of the things that God would have us to do, is not to go through this life not enjoying Christ. So the end result of religion is that you're still not satisfied. The end result of religion is that you only gain Bible knowledge. And if you are one like myself, who I always felt that there had to be more than just going to church, praying, and reading the Bible. There had to be more than that, because I still was feeling like there was more to my Lord. And I just thank Him for today, because He has revealed to me that there is more of Him. There is such a thing called feeding off of Him. Jesus said to drink of His blood and to eat of His flesh. Now, to give an example of that verse, if you were one like myself who always thought that the drinking of His blood and the eating of His flesh was basically golly, I lost my thought. If you thought of eating of His flesh is basically gaining Bible knowledge, then we have both are incomplete in our understanding of that verse. But once again, I'm out of time. Join me again and we'll pick back up on this point. Love you.